Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. Welcome back to Pix Plays Minecraft single player in Minecraft Pocket Edition / Windows 10. Not a great deal has happened here in the town. It's not really much of a town, it's just a house and a field right now. I've been growing out the wheat field a little bit more, but I've not done a huge amount more building in this area because, as someone said in the comments on the last episode, it would be kind of cool if I built some more stuff on camera with you guys instead of building all off camera and then just giving you an update. So I'm going to try and do that a little bit more. We are going to make a start on the castle up here at some point, I imagine. Let me just quickly show you what I've done with the skeleton spawner so far. So this is what I've been working on off camera. It's basically a very pretty 9x9 box in which the skeletons can spawn. Usual sort of spawner trap kind of design. I turn the lights off and on again. Some skeletons spawn in there. They get carried down here by the water flow and into a kill mechanism, which I haven't been able to build yet for a couple of reasons. The primary reason is that I do not know where on earth I can find some slime in this world. The problem with this being a Pocket Edition world is that I can't really do much in terms of navigating by coordinates and stuff, and I also can't look up where the slime chunks are on something like Mine Atlas or any of those kind of biome finders. I can't look up slime chunks, I can't look up swamps, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be able to find slime, and as such I have to do a bit of exploring on my own. So I've been doing a fair amount of that this week. But yeah, basically what we have there is a redstone-ified box which will allow me to spawn skeletons, and sooner or later we will have the kill mechanism for that set up, and I will promise to take you through it step by step once I actually have that together. But in the meantime, we're going to do a bit of exploring elsewhere, and that's going to require going into the Nether, which I didn't do in the last episode, so what better time than now? So this is what we've got for a Nether spawn. I spawned right here and made myself a little bit of a cobblestone shelter because ghasts in this version are an absolute menace. This version has actually made me afraid of ghasts again because the problem with it is that they actually act the same way other mobs do in terms of the sound they make, and it's all about proximity. In the PC edition, you can hear ghasts shoot fireballs at you no matter where they are. If they're 100 blocks away, if they're 10 blocks away, you seem to hear them the same volume, but in this version they are quiet when they're further away, and that makes them dangerous because you don't know a ghast has fired a fireball at you until you hear the faintest of sounds and then suddenly you're on fire. So that's a bit of a problem. But I've been reinforcing bits and pieces of the Nether here and there with cobblestone just to make it a little bit safer for me to get around, because I've done some exploring, and out this way I have found myself a Nether Fortress, the first one from the seed. I've also made myself a Nether Portal because I wanted to explore a little bit of the overworld a little bit further afield, and the Nether is a great way to do that. And what I found was actually pretty good, because if I spawn in on the opposite side of this, I find myself right next to a savanna, and nearby there is desert. So immediately a source of acacia wood and a source of mass quantities of sand. So I figured I would at least share that with you guys here. I'm going to use my fortune pick to try and get a couple of saplings out of this tree so we don't have to, yeah, there we go. We can not worry too much about taking down all of the wood. All I wanted was an acacia sapling. We can take that back home and we can get growing acacia nearby. But I'm going to come out here every now and again. I've been looking around here for a swamp, still haven't found one. So it's early days, but this could be another opportunity for a settlement right here. But I think we're going to be spending a little bit of time today exploring this Nether Fortress because I want to explore the Nether a little bit more, and for that I will need myself some fire resistance potions. So we need to get potion brewing on the go super soon. I think that's probably going to be a priority. So let's find ourselves some blaze while we're around here. What is this doing? Is that just, it's like it's half a Nether Fortress bridge. That's fun. That's interesting. This is definitely generated in a weird sort of haphazard kind of way. Hello, magma cube. I'm gathering all the magma cream I can right now just so I can make it safe for myself in future, because without a proper nether hub, it's going to be a little bit dangerous to get around, at least for the first little while. You'll also notice that I have a couple of diamond tools together, still got my fortune pickaxe, I've got a sharpness and looting sword, which is doing me very nicely so far, but I still haven't quite got the levels I need to enchant absolutely everything in that diamond set I was working on, so that's going to take a little bit of time. Every now and again I come across these lava sources in the walls that haven't updated as well, so those are getting blocked off first. Hello, that's leading up to a blaze spawner, I think. If memory serves. Oh, and hello, this is the other thing we need, which is Nether Wart. Fantastic stuff. We will take this. I know we should probably replant it here, but hey, I've got plenty of soul sand. Yes, I hear a blaze. I hear the blaze a-calling. It's calling round the bend. Are there? Oh, hello. Hello, you. The fire effect looks completely different in this version of Minecraft, and I just let that blaze rod go. Never mind. I'm sure we'll pick one up here and there. But yeah, I don't know if chests spawn in Nether Fortresses. I also don't know if wither skeletons spawn in Nether Fortresses. I'm pretty sure you can't summon the wither, because you don't even have the ender dragon in this version of the game, and I'm pretty sure that would take priority. But I have not seen any chests so far, which means we are potentially not going to get a great deal of loot from these fortresses. We're just going to get the blazes. Alright, the spawn is on, the blazes are here. Let's take them out. Ow! Ow, ow, ow. Let's try and take them out. Goodness me. Let's try and take them out so we can go home. I don't think the same change has been made in Pocket Edition that was made in the PC edition recently, where blaze powder is required for brewing. So hopefully we shouldn't need too much of this, but I will need to back off at this point because I am seriously on fire. Hello. Yeah, this is old school Minecraft again, it feels like. This is completely unprepared Minecraft, and apparently I'm just wandering into fires now, so I guess that's my own fault. But yeah, not seeing any wither skeletons around. The Nether on Pocket Edition is actually considerably brighter as well than the Nether on the PC edition, and I have got the brightness slider set all the way up, but that really seems to do something, whereas, whoa, I remember Jefferson talking about how he and various other members in the Minecraft community, I think he said the crew were the people who he'd got it from, would hack their gamma just so they could see well in the Nether, which is not the kind of thing you necessarily want to be doing just so a game can be borderline playable, you know? Okay, I think that should be enough blaze rods. 16, not bad. We don't need to worry about Eyes of Ender or anything like that, so that's probably going to be enough blaze powder to last us a little while. It's definitely enough to get ourselves some brewing. Oh, hello. That guy took me completely by surprise. So there are withers. There we go. That is possibly the first time I've been on camera and been genuinely scared. That's really funny. That never happens to me as well. Like, that guy took me completely by surprise. Oh, gosh. So yeah, it turns out wither skeletons are in this version of the game. Good to know. So, now we have ourselves an acacia sapling. We can get started farming acacia over here. And I really hope I can level up enough to get myself a diamond axe enchanted soon, because I'm fed up of wasting iron on these things. The other thing in Pocket Edition that I really miss from Java Edition is that you can't turn on tooltips that tell you like the exact amount of durability. It's like going back to Console Edition where all you had was the graphics, you know? So it's going to be interesting to see if they introduce that in future, shall we say. I am kind of hoping that they do, because I like that level of information in my game. So working on the same sort of style as the house we have over here, I think over in this sort of direction, we're going to build the house of a brewer. We'll do it a little past the acacia farm, and I'll probably start filling in some of this just to flatten the terrain a little bit. I like to work with the terrain when I can, but with stuff like this, it's just going to become an annoyance eventually. It's just going to kind of get in the way. So now the terrain around here is all flattened out, we're going to start on the foundations for a house, and it's best to do these things in odd numbers. For some reason, odd numbers just work that much better when it comes to stuff like this. So what we're actually going to do here is build something on multiple levels. So it's going to start out, it's going to be fairly large in terms of the footprint, but then I find it always helps to plan stuff larger than you expect, because then eventually when you bring the walls in, when you add depth and stuff like we did with that house over there, it looks pretty big on the outside, but it's really not got that much room on the inside. So we're going to go pretty large with this one, and it's going to be multi-floored. It's actually going to have this be the basement, and then the next floor up is going to be the first floor. So what we want to do is plan for a staircase being over here. So for the sake of simplicity, what I've done is made a kind of 11 by 11 square. I think that's about the dimensions of this. And so we want to start building upwards with spruce wood. We're going to need a lot of spruce logs for this one. And so the way we're going to do this is we're actually going to have the staircase come out down here and then kind of wrap around the side of the building. So you walk up a staircase here and the entrance is going to be about there. That's the plan, at least. Let's see how we can do that. So for the interior of the basement, what we're going to do is we're going to start building ourselves some stone walls up and around here. And it only really has to be blocking in these gaps in between the spruce wood logs for it to look like that from the outside. And then on the inside, we can kind of do what we want with it. So what we've got now is this, and the best thing to do here, I think, would be to add in some stone bricks every now and again, just here and there. Just take out a block here, put in a stone brick there, and give that kind of implied texture. The great thing about using smooth stone is that it's such a straightforward, no-nonsense texture that you can kind of just add in little blocks of textured stone here and there and kind of make it seem like the rest of the wall is the same kind of texture. It's almost like it's faking it for the rest of the wall. Okay, so what we've got now, give or take the little bit of detail I put into the path here, is a pretty basic frame for the start of a house. We've got the wall coming up around here, leading to the doorway is probably going to be about here, sort of halfway along the side of the building. What I've got under here right now is just cobblestone kind of underneath there. What I was thinking of doing instead was maybe having wood piles and stuff underneath there, or maybe around the side, just to kind of give the impression that these guys chop wood and have it around regularly. It's still going to be fuel to these people if they're living in this kind of somewhat rustic medieval community. I think the best thing to do right here, though, is to add in these little kind of spruce wood logs along here, just to kind of frame off the rest of this area. And then you can kind of put what you want in these little gaps. You can build in leaves, or you can put in plants. You can kind of do whatever. You could even put in stairs or something like that, just to kind of slope into this wall section here. I'd probably use wood stairs or something like that, but stone wouldn't be too bad either. There's a bit of a range you can work with at that point. Now, the thing I usually tend to do at this point is to put stairs inverted on the tops of these pillars, kind of so they support the next floor, and we're going to build the next floor pillars one block out just on top of these sets of stairs. You can only really do this up until this point, because if you put a stair block there, then suddenly you're cutting off half of the space you have for the stairs leading down to or up to the house. So we're going to need to maybe work out some sort of balcony to go on here to make this look a little bit more realistic, but we can probably manage it all the way around the rest of the sides of the building as well. And maybe there's just going to be a smaller window on the corner here or something like that. We'll work out something as we go. So now we've got the start of our pillars up and around the next floor of this building, which is actually going to be, I guess, the first floor of the building. We can build in some wood pillars here. I'm not actually sure how we're going to figure out this bit here, because that bit is obviously going to be part of the door frame like that, but your door's going to go inwards there. That's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to work that out. But still, I think here we could probably fit in a glass pane window, maybe with a fence on this corner, and then just have the glass panes on stairs kind of around the outside here. And then I kind of want it to have a window or some kind of nice front piece for the house here. It doesn't have to be a window, though. It could be something a little bit different. We're also going to want a couple of other windows around the outside. Let's do one kind of here, so it's not quite front and center on the building. It's kind of tucked away a little bit, but has a nice little view out here. Maybe we could have a garden over here or something like that. And you're not going to want a window right here, because obviously that's just going to look at this hill, but we might even have one next to the door right there. So there's a couple of places. Just interesting thoughts about window placement. So, window up there. What do we think? I think the the fence stands out a little bit further from that than I'd like. I really wish it just kind of tucked in a little bit more, but I think we can get away with that. I think that's going to be okay. We could do it with regular glass blocks and offset it one block in, but again, I think that would almost be overkill at that point. I think we should be okay with it like that. And it's not completely even. You'll notice it attaches to this pillar here, but we don't have the luxury of having the pillar one block out on this side, so it attaches straight onto this one. But I think that's okay. I think that's going to be all right. We have to not overthink stuff like that if we're going to make this work. And of course, because I want to keep the pattern going with something on each of these pillars, we have a trapdoor. My trapdoors are, as you guys all know, my answer to everything, and I think they look really nice in situ there. I really like that a lot, so we're going to stick with that, and this is looking alright. It's coming together, I think. Coming together pretty well. Now, I wanted the interior of this place to have some sort of connection to the nether itself, and considering I brought back a little bit of nether brick with me from my trip, I figured I may as well lay it down here as part of a floor. So we're probably going to divide this area up into at least 1 or 2 separate rooms. Like, this can kind of be the entrance hall, and we'll probably have some actual kind of room division going on here. I think nether brick and oak would actually go quite well together. The nether brick texture is so much lighter in Pocket Edition, it seems like, and maybe that's just a brightness thing, kind of like the nether itself, but I have noticed that it's a little bit lighter, so that's kind of an interesting thing to work with. But I do think this ain't gonna look too bad once we've got ourselves a couple of things done to it. If we put an interior door like this, kind of like that, then it's something that you can get to straight from the main door. So you just want to come straight through here, you can, you know. But then we will figure out what to do with the rest of this room. We also need to figure out what to do with the rest of the exterior of the house. Now, I've been using stuff like wool for the outside of the house over here, and I would like to do something like stained clay, but I don't know if we have ready access to stained clay right now. I certainly haven't been seeing any anywhere, so I'm thinking maybe wool of a slightly different colour perhaps might be the way to go. In the meantime, since I said I was going to do a garden of sorts out here, I'm actually going to plant the soul sand that I've gathered. I've only got a couple of them on me, but I may as well get some nether wart growing while I'm here, and then we can sort out some chests in the interior of this place to store our brewing supplies. Alright folks, we're doing pretty well with this house, but I think it's probably time to call it a day for this episode. I don't want to run too long. Like I said, I do want to keep these episodes relatively brief for you guys, so that's going to be it. We will finish up this house in the next episode, and I will be sure to build a little bit more of it with you guys on camera. So thanks for watching today's episode of Pix Plays Pocket Edition. My name has been Pixlriffs. Of course, feel free to leave a like on the episode if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys soon. Bye for now.